Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the CEO with Abraham Gottheil. Today, I'd like to introduce a very special guest. He's the founder and COO of INVYO, a SaaS company that helps financial institutions see tomorrow's opportunities in FinTech. He is also co-editor-in-chief at Invyo Insights, a global provider of FinTech insights and analysis. As a banker, he has been sharing his vision of the sector with industry pioneers over the past 18 plus years. It is my pleasure to welcome Xavier Gomez. Welcome, Xavier.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Sunshine and happiness. This is a back to school and now nice weather in Paris. So wonderful.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say that. Back to school, that truly is really nice because all the parents around the world are rejoicing that their children are in school and they've got vacation.
Exactly. Vacation after vacation. Vacation with children is the totally different vacation of adults. What I mean.
Absolutely. Totally. So Xavier, speaking about FinTech, from what you've seen, what are some of the challenges FinTechs face when doing a digital transformation?
Good, very good question, Avram. In simple words, I see more or less three main issues: profitability, trust, and adoption of FinTech solution by mass, by population. It's very difficult to speak about money in particular in Europe. I know it's more easy for American people to adopt a new way or new solution, a new digital to consume, in particular for saving and manage money. But in Europe, it's a little bit conservative. And we see it's very difficult to trust the people, to trust the people, and after to trust the system, the digital system without relation with human being. And this is the first step. And after, as I mentioned, the profitability. As you know, all the startup in any sector, energy, food, in a prop tech, in auto, it's more or less difficult to reach the profitability quickly because you don't have a base of client at the beginning. And this is a little bit challenging. This is the reason why a lot of FinTech run after financing. But I saw a lot of solid business model, and I'm pretty sure you will see in the near term a big FinTech company, in particular, come from USA.
It's very interesting you say that because, with regards to the profitability, I think many businesses from any sector in the market struggle with the same thing. And, pretty much it's really a chicken or the egg kind of thing because, you need cash to come in order to have your business, in order to deliver services. But at the same time, the cash is not going to come unless you're delivering services.
Exactly. And this is the reason why the private equity sector play a very important role at the moment in order to financing this new sector as a lot of mega trend. When you talk about smart city, artificial intelligence, 5G, we have the chance at the moment to have a cash around the world, a lot of cash, liquidity, in order to invest in this project and take a risk. This is a secular opportunity for me to clearly transform the society.
Wonderful. Now, let's just talk about trust for a minute, because you mentioned trust. And with every business, every sector, people are dealing with cybersecurity issues, and trust is a really big factor. And I'm sure in FinTech, it's an even bigger factor.
Exactly. At the moment, you see a lot of solution available on smartphone, It's easy peasy to send money around the world. I am in Paris. I want to send you a cash in New York now. It's very simple with a lot of payment solution. But my smartphone and your smartphone can be hacked. And what is the solution for that to protect? And I understand more senior people, they have some difficulties to trust on this solution. Maybe it's a little bit complex for them because they don't have use habit a smartphone. And after they have used an application to send money, and they don't have any protection, they don't get education about cyber risk. And I think it's one big challenge.
Yeah, for sure. You hear stories all the time about SIM swapping, where somebody goes and hacks into your account, not by guessing your password or anything like that, but they just literally they steal your cellular phone number and hence your multi-factor authentication if you're using SMS, for example, and then everything gets compromised.
Exactly. And again, this is a big challenge. When you take, for example, Africa, Africa doesn't have any legacy in terms of telecom infrastructure like in USA and in Europe, and they adopt quickly this kind of solution. And this is also a big risk and a big opportunity for them. It's a challenging balance. And we have to work on that. I know you are a very great specialist on cybersecurity, and I think this new trend will open a lot of opportunity. And fintech solution not only need a very good regulation, but also a cybersecurity solution.
For sure. Now, can you provide some examples of companies that are doing digital transformation correctly? Who's doing it right?
Oh, again, you put a very challenging question. It's a kind of a picture at this time, but as you know, with technology and innovation, the ranking and the good adoption can change. But I can talk about a big player in a fintech. They work very well on different subsector of finance and fintech, payment, capital market, data analytics, wealth management, and real estate, or even personal finance. In USA, you have the chance to have three big players. They make a very good job. This is JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs. Each of the three invest a lot of million of US dollar in their digital transformation and reshuffle quickly the relation between the client and the service provided. This kind of bank are shifting away from a product-centric view of the world to be more customer-centered. And most banks have been focused on developing products that they try to shoehorn into any situation to meet their customer needs, and this is the most important. For example, as you know, Goldman launched the Marcus initiative in USA and in Europe, in particular in UK. They work very well in the segment of the wealth management. You have a very nice digital onboarding in terms of opening account and solution provided for a reasonable price for high net worth individual. It's a very nice product. You have also JP Morgan. JP Morgan, even they closed some fintech initiative, they invest in their IT in order to be connected to open source solution, and they decided to reshuffle all the IT infrastructure in order to offer to their clients open source solution in order to be connected with all API or sign a partnership with other FinTech. This is a very important shift, and in this manner, the bank today can be focused on earnings and maintaining the trust again. With the massive data these banks create, they need clearly to use this data to know better the client. When you take the example of Amazon or Facebook holds the GAFA, one day this kind of player can become a bank because they know very well the final customer in comparison with the bank. They know what they buy for the house, what's the kind of consummation, and the risk for the banks. If they don't react, it could be clearly a commodity, a simple commodity, as the bats made in China with Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba. You have a smartphone with all these applications, and the solution of payment, of saving, are only one service among the other with the e-commerce or health service. This is very challenging for the bank, and the three players mentioned as today play the good game.
You know, it's very interesting what you say because you're giving us strategic information about the way the future of fintech or the future of e-commerce really is going to work. As we know, it's all about personalization of the customer experience. So it doesn't really matter if you're coming from the bank end, if you're coming from the e-commerce end. At the end of the day, I love the way you tied it up very neatly. It's going to become a commodity. You're buying your computer, you're buying groceries, and you're also doing your banking all at the same time from one location.
Exactly. As you know, the world is very open. A lot of new players will come in USA because it's a very interesting market. When I told that, I thought about N26 and Revolut. This is a new neobank, and they want to compete with JP Morgan, Robinhood, and even some other e-commerce company. They want to provide financial services. In fact, what is very interesting at the moment, a lot of competitors will come in the finance sector. They can be a telecom, they can be an e-commerce company. When you
they're coming from any direction now.
Exactly, this is a movement you see in Europe. I don't know if this new competitor will succeed, but they move and check the market, and the regulator is very happy for that because they reduce cost for the final customer and provide a nice services on that.
I think that this is actually a really good thing because all these, like you said, it provides checks and balances. All these little companies that are starting up, they have a really good chance of beating the incumbents, especially if they do it right with regards to like the way we started the conversation with trust, with security and trust. And they show that the customer's data privacy is really important to them. And they take great steps to ensure that. I think they have a really good chance of not only competing in the marketplace, but even displacing the incumbents.
Yes, of course. And again, this is the challenge for the new actors, the new competitors, to earn the trust of final client with different business model, B2B or B2C. And the most challenging is to win the trust of B2C as a consumer, because it's more difficult, it's more conservative, and you talk with them about the money. It's sensitive. It's very complex with different culture in different countries. It's a big challenge, really.
For sure. And then you have the sheer numbers of it as well, because B2C, you're dealing with every individual consumer as opposed to B2B.
Exactly. In B2B, you are between a professional. More or less, you don't need to make acculturation or education. What is equities? What is a savings? What is investment solution? In B2B, you are between professional. In B2C, you have to explain and convince people. And no, it's tough.
Yeah, for sure. So Xavier, I understand that you work with FinTechs. Can you share with us some of the ways you help them through the digital transformation process?
Yes, of course. In fact, with some of my former colleagues of Credit Suisse, because I worked during more or less 18 years to Credit Suisse in different top management positions between London, Paris, and Zurich. And we get some frustration because in Credit Suisse we get a very nice research about mega trend and the new trend in coming years, but we cannot invest on that except in private equity. When I launch some initiative to invest in for corporate and ultra net worth individual clients. And we decided to leave it and to create Invyo. The goal of Invyo, ENVYO, is to assist the companies, in particular financial institutions, for its growth strategy and business development with qualified data. What does it mean? It means we provide a SaaS solution to help financial constitution and financial companies, and their team see tomorrow's opportunity in their markets. By subscribing to the platform, we give access to predictive analytics, sourcing, competitive and business intelligence tools, as well as data-driven insight. In fact, we Invyo provide qualified data powered by machine learning as today. And we have a very simple value proposition. It's clearly time saving, reduced by 80% the research of information thanks to our SaaS platform. Performance, increase team analysis performance. Simplicity, modern user interface with no technical skills required, and adaptability, access custom tools to match your expectation. This is the beauty of machine learning, because the tool adapt to user needs clearly. And we provide this system and our service to the bank, to the insurance company, to private equity firms, to consulting firms, to VC funds, in order for them to, for example, sourcing the right fintech in order to make a partnership, to sourcing and mapping a fintech player in Europe for VC, for insurance, to analyze a new market with fintech solution or insurtech solution. Clearly, it's to support them in their digital transformation. And we talk usually with the CEO of the bank with the chief digital officer, with the chief of innovation officer, or the team of also of research, a different player inside a financial institution, in particular of the bank. They have a cash, and now we talk with a corporate finance arm. They have a clear mandate to buy a fintech in order to integrate this fintech in their company. This is a very fascinating period because we analyze a lot of business. We help a lot of different players. For example, this summer we support a VC fund in order to reshuffle the due diligence model in order for them to analyze more target with more data and to select the right target in order to make an offer, for example.
And this is really where it's at, because we have connected devices everywhere collecting data, and information is really king. That's really what's driving everything today. Can you give us an idea, how big is the business intelligence market?
Yes, of course. In fact, more or less the business intelligence market today is around 340 billion of US dollar as of 2023, with annual growth of between 10 and 15% after this date. We get also a very big trend on BI, because most of the player and the competitor come from USA, clearly, and they don't use for the moment the beauty of AI, clearly, because as you mentioned, we have a lot of data, but now when you have the data, how do you treat it, qualify it, and we need for that data scientist to make the job, and the machine learning in order, for example, for your business, Avram, to provide you the dedicated data you need for your job. You don't need the other information. You need just the information what you're ready to pay. For example, cybersecurity. Other competitors give you access on all the data in different sectors, but you don't care.
It's information overload. You have all these dashboards and things, and you don't know what to do with it.
Exactly. And after, as a demand, you can request a change or a request to add some other factor. And this is the beauty of business intelligence market today. Data is a new oil of 21st century, and analytics is a combustion engine for me. And we go 5 times faster because companies using business analytics make faster decisions. 90% of the world data was generated in the last 2 years. 85% of business leaders believe that big data will dramatically change the way they do business. And 90% of the large organization will have hired a chief digital officer by 2019. And 40 billion of US dollar is the total amount more or less raised by FinTech during the first part of 2018. And all these figures come from of BI. And can you imagine now, when you get more or less these same figures for your business, your market, and your own company, with all the info you have? It's very powerful to take a strategic decision, to allocate resources, to hire talent, and so on.
You know, if there's one thing, one takeaway from our conversation, that is you don't need more data. You need the right data.
Exactly. This is the point.
Awesome. This has been a very fascinating conversation. Xavier, how do people connect with you?
Oh, it's very simple. You can connect with Invyo and myself via LinkedIn, Invyo website or Twitter. So it's yes, it's very very simple.
Excellent. And I'll post that information to the show notes so people can click on it and get right to you.
Exactly, with pleasure.
Great. Xavier, do you have any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yes, of course. Usually, I love this quote: "Who dares win?" And at the moment, it's clearly my parting words of wisdom.
Wonderful. Xavier, thank you so much for sharing your time and your wisdom. I really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Avram, to give the opportunity to share my insight with you.